It's another episode of Chatting with the Experts, where I speak with phenomenal women. These women are from Africa, from the Caribbean, and in the diaspora. And they share my mission, which is to educate women, to encourage women, and to empower women globally. I have a few men who join me, but for the most part, it's women. Our episode today is called Healthy Skin at Every Age, a Physician's Guide to Natural Skin Care. And my guest, who will join me in a minute, is a board-certified physician specializing in sports medicine and regenerative aesthetic medicine. She's also a health and wellness speaker, and she's the founder of Nature's Puree, a physician-founded natural skincare line designed for the whole family. She explores natural skincare, healthy skincare at every age, and she's going to share with us simple routines that women can use every day. And with that, I want to welcome Dr. Christina Hector to the show. Welcome, Dr. Christina.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know that I just gave a snippet of your bio. Maybe you can expand on anything that I may have omitted that you think is really relevant. It's up to you.
I think you said it all. I'm a board-certified physician. I specialize in non-surgical sports medicine, musculoskeletal injuries, and I do regenerative aesthetics for, all skin types. I do like to focus on melanated skin types also. And I started doing aesthetics because I felt like a lot of women didn't know exactly what to do with some of the skin conditions that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
really it. All right. Okay. So you said a lot of women did not know how to take care of the skin that they had.
mm-hmm.
So
my journey started in medical school. At that time, I'll tell you the story. I had relaxed hair, so it's like chemically treated hair. And, I was just, hair was falling out. It might have been, I was stressed from being in medical school, and I went to hairdressers after hairdressers, and nothing was changing. And I said, maybe it's the chemicals that I am using on my hair. So I decided to stop using chemicals and go natural, as they would say. And when I went natural, the next dilemma I had was I wanted to really go chemical free, but a lot of the hair care products had a lot of chemicals in them. And I searched, and when I did find products that didn't have chemicals in them, they were really expensive for my medical school budget. So I really couldn't afford it at that time. And, I might be aging myself, but back then it wasn't as many people making natural skincare products, and now we're finding them in stores. But back then it was very few. So I was like, okay, I'm in medical school. I'm smart. Let me see what I could whip up in the kitchen. So I started to make hair care products for myself. And as I went through this journey of making hair care products and trying it and seeing like really good results with my hair, I said, something, the same chemicals I'm trying to avoid using in my hair are in my skincare products.
Wow.
Like when you pick up a bottle of skincare products and you look at the ingredients and you can't pronounce anything that's in them. So that's when I said, well, if I could make products for my hair, let's see if I can make products for my skin. And the whole goal for me was, as I educated myself, I realized these products are dangerous for, our health. So I started to make skincare products.
So you said being in medical school and being on a tight budget, you wanted to go natural with your hair. But that was smart. I mean, looking at the products of the skincare products and saying, these are not healthy products. Being in medicine, you knew that it wasn't. And then you thought, what will be the benefits, right, of natural skincare? We know what the benefits are, but we lay people who are not in medicine, sometimes don't know what the medical benefits of natural skincare are.
Right, right,
So tell me
right.
a bit
And
about that.
so when I say like natural skincare, I tend to mean like using plant-based products. So a lot of these products are made in nature. So there'll be like the plant-based oils, avocado oil, olive oil, castor oil, the plant-based butters, like the most common, the shea butters, the coconut butters, coconut oils, I should say. And so I'll give you an analogy. We eat vegetables, right? And we say the healthy part of eating vegetables, they have vitamins in them and they have antioxidants that fight against free radicals and help rejuvenate our cells. The same thing with the plant-based skincare products for our skin. They have vitamins that our skin can use. They're full of antioxidants that can help protect our skins from free radicals and from the sun, the UV light. So if we think about eating vegetables, and it's the same analogy of for our skin, all these benefits that we want to take in are going to benefit our skin.
Makes sense. I recently had a guest who said, and she's a pharmacologist and she's also a trichologist, a certified trichologist. And she said, similar to you, if you can't eat it, don't put it on your head.
That's a good one.
And I thought
That's
that's interesting. Yeah. And she is also, pushing for, we need to look at the products, the plant-based products, and she uses a plant-based. So the hair care products that she uses, it's plant-based. She's based in South Africa, but she's from Zimbabwe and South Africa. And there's a product there, a natural product that her people used way back. And she's like, that's what we need. And so that's how she created her own. So this is interesting because as you're saying, if all the natural, the minerals and the vitamins and everything that we get in food, in plant-based food, we can use it to our skin because if we're ingesting it, then it could work for our skin. That's what I'm kind of hearing from you, right?
Yes, definitely. Yes, the same nutritious parts of these plants for our inside our body is good for, because our skin is actually the biggest organ of our body. And I think just really thinking about that, it does so much. It's the first line of defense against infection, microorganisms. So we really need to focus on, what are we putting on our skin and what are we not putting on our skin.
You are right, 100%. I think a lot of us are becoming more aware of that our skin is indeed the largest organ of our body because we didn't think about it in that way. It was just skin. We'd be concerned about what we put in our mouth, but like what we put on our skin, what we put on our hair, and we looked at hair as just hair, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter because it's just your hair, you could cut it off, but it's more than that.
Right. It comes from your skin.
Yes.
You need to, yes.
Yes. So we know that you started this skincare company, and now that you are really educating us, are we becoming more educated on, what we need to do to be healthy overall? What would you say is like a good, simple daily routine that we can do as women? Because most of us are putting stuff on our skin because it's advertised that it's good. And we have our beauty, whether we wash our faces, well, most of us, we wash our faces at night before we go to bed, and we wake up in the morning, we wash our faces again. And we, of course, we shower. So what's a simple routine?
So first I will start with getting into the mindset of looking at the ingredients of the products that you're using, and one, look for products that have more plant-based ingredients in them or non-harmful ingredients. There are some, synthetic ingredients that are made based on their knowledge of plants that are not harmful. So that's the first thing, because as women, we age, sometimes our skin gets a little bit thinner and we absorb more of what we put on our skin. So if you're putting something on your skin that has a lot of harmful synthetic products in it, you're absorbing more of those harmful products. So the first step is, let's really dive into, and be conscious, just like we look at the food ingredients, look at the ingredients on our skincare products. I'm a simple person. It's really, you're going to cleanse the skin, and I recommend a natural gentle cleanser for the skin, and cleansing the skin twice a day, in the morning and of course in the evening, because during the day we're out and about and putting makeup on, debris on our face, so you definitely want to cleanse twice a day. You don't want the cleanser to be too harsh for the face, but definitely cleansing the face, moisturizing the face, so you want a good moisturizer for the face, and then protection. Okay, now the sun is really bright. It doesn't matter if it's winter, if it's summer, you do want to add a protection to the face, a sunscreen. Mineral-based sunscreen I would recommend, as opposed to a chemical-based sunscreen, because like I said, we're trying to stay away from harmful chemicals on the face. So that's really the basic everyday routine. Now, you want to add a little bit extra. Vitamin C is really good for the face. It has antioxidants in it, so that can help with brightening the face and help, repair the cells. So that is something that we can add to the face. And then some people use like a retinol, which is vitamin A base, that can lighten some of the dark marks on the face. So those are like the simple routine I would recommend. And another thing I recommend too is, if someone feels like, I am trying a lot of things and I feel like I'm having difficulties with whatever it may be. It could be adult acne, it could be rosacea, it could be hyperpigmentation of the face, you may want to go to an esthetician, a professional, and have them do, a deep cleanse, deep exfoliation, and then really discuss with you what products you're using and come out with a product plan that works for you in terms of the face. Now, for the body, it's the same thing. We want to cleanse it, we want to moisturize it, we want to really pay attention to the ingredients, especially the soap that we're using. A lot of people, we focus a lot on the moisturizer, but if you're using a soap that's full of synthetic ingredients and harmful ingredients, sometimes that can cause the itchy skin, the dry skin, the irritated skin, and even the moisturizer that you use, and it's just not healing the skin enough. So it just becomes this repetitive cycle. So, definitely want to cleanse with a plant-based or, soap, moisturize, and protect the skin.
I'm going to ask you this question. I noticed you emphasize plant-based, and I know I said I had a guest on the show who, for the hair, she uses plant-based products that was naturally occurring in South Africa and Zimbabwe, I think she said. But you mentioned plant-based. I'm wondering why plant-based and not, can we get like some animal-based stuff? I know now people are into, rightfully so, animal rights, and not wanting to use like oils from animal skins. But I'm just curious as to why the emphasis on plant-based.
I think I focus more, my products are more plant-based. I am not, I tell you, when they really started to make soap, it wasn't necessarily, it was natural, but it wasn't plant-based. It was made with lard and tallow. And tallow is from a cow, and the lard is from the fat of the pig and the cow, and they use it in a chemical-based formula, and it turns into soap. And I think now people are starting to, some soaps are based on tallow and lard, and it's still considered natural. It's not a chemical base, but my products are plant-based. So I think that's why I say more plant-based, because that's what I'm familiar with. But I feel like now we're seeing more tallow come back into the market, and people are using tallow a little bit more, or you're seeing it more on social media, the use of tallow. But use of tallow and lard has been here for years in terms of making soap. So I think it's going to be the preference of the person.
Okay,
But
okay.
I think, yes.
Thanks for clearing that up because that's something I was thinking about. Like,
Yeah.
I know long ago or many years ago, however long ago that was, yes, they use animal fat,
Mm-hmm.
to, as a base for some of these soaps
Mm-hmm.
that we used. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so true.
Yeah, I've been meaning to at least try a formula with that tallow. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I've been trying just to test it out and see, how it works.
Yeah, I'd
Mm-hmm.
love if you actually do that, let us know so that we probably can bring you on so you can now
Yeah.
talk about, yeah, I did find out something that the tallow works, probably not better, but it's equally, it does
Mm-hmm.
similar things
Yeah.
to what you have right now, which
Mm-hmm.
is so interesting. I know you talked about the skincare and natural skincare playbook. You wrote
Yes,
that. That's your book, right?
that is my book.
Mhm.
And I wrote it because when I would go to vending events and talk about natural skincare, sometimes people say, well, why should I pay this money for this? Why is I could get skincare from the store? Why is it important to even consider it?
Mhm.
So I wanted to write a book, one to talk about the journey of natural skincare. It's almost like a comeback because skincare was natural, it was made at home
Mhm.
by family members, and recipes were passed down, and it was made to be very protective from the elements and the sun and the bacteria and viruses. So that's really where skincare started, and then it became really commercialized and went to like mass production, and then it went to making synthetic products to be able to do mass production. And then now we're realizing that the synthetic ingredients are harmful in the sense that they can affect your reproductive system, they can affect your endocrine system. So now we're having that turn back to a natural form of and very low use of chemicals. So I wanted to really talk about and explain to people the history and also talk about the science, behind
Mhm.
the skin, the science of skin and how important our skin is to our survival, and the science behind plants and how the two together work, so, and a little bit about my journey, from, starting a natural skincare product, which I didn't plan to start. I just planned to pretty much help myself in terms of decreasing the amount of chemicals I'm putting on my skin, but then I realized I can help, more people. So I did write a book, The Natural Skincare Playbook, everything you need to know about plant-based beauty. It is on my website and it is on Amazon. And this book is for anybody who's interested in changing their skincare products to more natural base. Someone maybe they're interested in making it to sell and they just want to get some feedback or just to learn about the history. Could give to anybody, aunties, young people in general. I think they need to see this because they, a lot of advertising is going towards the young girls on skincare products, and they're using products that, starting now is going to damage their skin as
Yeah,
they age. So even if you have a young, teen or preteen, for them to really understand how to look for better skincare products and why. I think that's the biggest thing, why, and the science behind the why. There's been research done, and I added into the book of research done on these plant-based products and the benefits down to the cell level. So it's a good read.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. So you've told us where we can find the book. You said it's on your website and on Amazon. So someone listening into this, before we have the guests who have joined the
Mhm.
show, before we have them ask questions, for someone who's listening to this post recording and wants to find out more about you, well, you've told us where we can get your playbook, but if they want to find out more about you or connect with you, how can they find you?
Well, you can connect with me on my website.
Mhm.
My website is www.onyx, aasm.com. And my skincare store is located on www.naturespuree.com.
Okay. Are you on Instagram? Because a lot of the young
Yes.
people
Oh,
are
of
on
course.
Instagram.
So on Instagram, Nature's Puree. On Instagram, NaturesPuree. And Dr. Christina Hector spelled out on Instagram and Facebook.
And Facebook too. Okay. And Facebook, do you have both the
Nature's Puree, yes. Yes,
and your
Nature's
name
Puree
too?
and yes.
Gotcha. Oh, this is great. This is great. Well, who hasn't learned from this? I've learned so much from Dr. Christina. And what I would like to say to those of you listening in or viewing this on YouTube, if you'd like to be a guest, just like Dr. Christina has been, reach out to me on my website, which is chattingwiththeexperts.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, my business page there. Just look for Chatting with the Experts business page, or you can go to my profile, my business page, and on my profile there, Paula Okone. I'm also on Instagram, and my handle there is @chat_experts_podcast. I am on Facebook, Paula Okone, and the business page, which is Chatting with the Experts. And please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel where you find all the videos of these amazing women who educate, empower, and encourage women globally through their expertise, whether it's on a product or whether it's just on a business tip, so many things they educate, empower, and encourage women to do in their lives. Thank you so much, Dr. Christina Hector.
Thank you for having me, Paula. It was great.
Absolutely. And now let's open up the floor to those who joined us so that they can ask you. I always say the questions I haven't asked or couldn't think of asking you, they will ask you for sure. Thanks.
Thank you.